It's a Sony. Hello everyone. I'm here with another video looking at another unit. This one is just a U-Matic. There's no real bells and whistles to this one. This is one of your more standard front-loading units. This is the VO-5800. So I have no idea what order I'm posting my videos in, but I might as well just give a very quick summary of the backstory to this thing. So I got this and a bunch of other VCRs off Facebook Marketplace from a person who buys storage units. This and a bunch of other professional units were in a storage unit he bought, and he was just unloading all the VCRs, and that's how this thing ended up on the bench. Very quick story. So this one is not without its issues. Yeah, let me get my test cassette. That has nothing of value on. I already have the connections to my CRT here. Just got flick the power on. It makes a bizarre startup noise. All right. You can see the clock here. Not the clock, the counter. So the basket works, right? And then it will do that with a tape, but push play is when issues start to arise. Yeah, doesn't sound pleasant, does it? First off, because the right channel is stop that shit. Because the right channel on this tape is like a time code, so you're gonna hear that. You're gonna only hear that noise. But yeah, there's squealing, and it will thread up. However, there's something wrong with the engagement near the end with the solenoid. It seems like. Yeah, not pleasant at all. So I am getting audio and a picture at least, so the heads and all that are good. Can this thing fast forward and or rewind? Not really. Okay, so it's not as fast as it should be. Okay. Put this out of its misery. Okay, so I know on these units, which problem should we start with first? Because I know the rewind and fast forward on this chassis is done through by means of another belt that's underneath, so I think that needs changing. The idler tire seems to be going okay because it's playing fine. It's just, I mean, there's like a little bit of slack on the tape when it before it finally ejects the cassette. That's really the only thing. The belt on the pulley here, I mean, it's good because it's doing its job, so I wouldn't go and change that. There's some kind of guide or something, I believe, in the when it's playing that's causing, that squealing sound. Because I speak from a little bit of experience on this, not with U-Matic, but actually my V-Cord, the Toshiba unit that I have, that end up like having the same problem with like the squealing and all, and like the very messed up picture. Yeah, I can see that. I can tell you, that tape should not look like that. Oh! That is horrid! But the audio is still good. Stop that. Oh, and we have another issue here. I've had this happen a couple of times because I'm not just firing this thing up for the first time. I did do like a little diagnosis before jumping into the video where it wouldn't like unthread the tape even after like doing this a little bit helped. Yeah. So that happened quite a bit. But honestly, it feels like there is still some grease on that worm gear. So how this works, there's a worm gear that turns a gear that then controls the loading ring. And what could it be causing is that the grease that's on the worm gear is probably starting to act a little bit like glue. So one thing I would like to do is clean off that old grease and see what that does, so that there's less resistance that the motor and all has to fight against. But I don't think it's a belt issue because it can thread properly. Just in the home stretch here. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now that you have a better view of the actual mechanism here, we put the test tape in. So that's what it does. It doesn't automatically thread up. It waits for a command. And that command is going to be play. Yeah, because this here, the solenoid, that actually presses up against the what could be causing that? I think we found the guy that's, because this good lord, so many moving parts in this damn thing. Okay. It feels like this might be the guy that's gummed up. Because the squealing noise is affected when I like move that. And I'll demonstrate this again. Well, I think that's our issue. So now look at the picture. That's how it should look like. And you're only getting the left channel. Yeah, when I listen to the when I put the right channel plug in, if I can. Yeah, not a pleasant sound at all. Not at all. Seems like by just moving that guide, that freed up the issue with the squealing. Oh, I hear it coming back. I hear it coming back. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, I would like to get a little, it's going to be tough, because the drum is literally right next to it, but I would like to get sneak some oil in there, and see if that can get, like, worked into the, if I can get on the shaft somehow. So I don't think it's going to need much now that the squealing's gone. But the solenoid here is getting gummed up. So I am going to have to put a lube on all the moving components of that. By which I mean I'm just gonna drop some. Yeah, because now it's back. Okay, so we know first line of attack here is just going to be to get that get all the moving parts on the solenoid here and the guide here. Get that. So on the side here, I'm squirting some sewing machine oil onto a little screwdriver bit there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneakily work that into the little crevice here. And then just rotate that a bit. That might not be the best entry point for this. There, that's the best I can do it. I think that's helping. Question mark. These fuse are a little more free now. I see a nut here that I can undo. I'm just guessing that's a Allen slot because that's the most likely with these old locks. There we go. There we go. So that was... So get this piece off the guide here. I used a 1.5 hex key. I can't recall if I explained this or not, but so on my Toshiba V-Cord unit, it did develop basically the identical problem where you hear a squealing noise and that the picture goes haywire. Put it on the head drum, whatever you do. And what was causing the issue is that a guide roller was not rotating. It was one right before the head, so that explains why it was affecting the video. Because it was affecting the tape and all. So I took the guide off. There's a smaller bearing. Oh, very tight, but I think I can just cotton swab now. Especially. Stick that same cotton swab into the small bearing. Drop that down. So I naturally don't want to get oil on something that's going to touch the tape. That's concern number one. So I'll go to the old method here. Oh yeah, big difference. All right, should be a good spot now. That's rotating much better than it was before, for sure. Okay. Before I fire this thing back up, I want to quickly clean this guy here. Just on the off chance I got like oil on it. I don't want that going anywhere because I have a really bad time. Obviously, if oil ends up where it shouldn't be going on this VCR here. Okay. Okay, that should be good. I wonder what the heck's causing that, because that sounds like I wouldn't expect that noise from a VCR. It sounds like something like a robot in a sci-fi film would make. Like the main computer got, emergency shutdown. But okay, I'm sure that evaporated by now. Moment of truth. Let's see if that did anything. Really? The hell else could be causing that squealing noise? Well, I mean, while this thing is out and about, I'm going to oil up the joints on the solenoid here. So I'm looking at the the joints. So here's one. Put some oil in there. Make sure that gets worked in. Then I see one there. So those two joints stop so that the oil can be. Whoop! I hit the lens cap. So okay, so I'll work the oil in a little bit. I think the plastic rail that the solenoid is riding on, that maybe you can get away with putting a little lube on that. I really need to take a better look at this, because what the heck could be causing that? The squealing is happening less and less and less the more I just do this. The solenoid engagement not happening as fast as I would hope it to, so could just need a few more drops of oil on those joints, so that, because the idea in my mind is that those joints are, have some resistance on them, then with what, action that the solenoid is, can only do so much. It can only work against, that such resistance. So my thinking is that by getting some lube down there, that will help free up those joints and thus decrease resistance, and thus, actually get the solenoid to engage the way it should be. Really, the best judge at this point with the squealing is just to see if I stop it, if I take a break from this for like a couple hours and come back to it, is it going to be where it is now, or is this problem going to resurface? It could just be because this thing was awakened from its however long slumber, that this, in the addition with all the oiling that I've been doing, that could be, it could be getting it back to its regular state. Now, I just remembered that I also wanted to look at the belt down there, but now I'm curious. Okay, so yeah, it's rewinding. Fast forwarding, it's still weak. But surprisingly, rewind is actually kind of good. I don't know, you would. Well, I guess there's not much real tape on the other reel, so. Yeah, okay. Whoop! It did a double take there. Yeah, no squealing at all. I mean, it will engage by itself at some point. That's where I'm at with that solenoid there. But, I don't want to, leave it up to fate on if it's going to, on the timing of the engagement. That's the only thing. Okay, so I flipped the unit on its side. So let's see. Yeah, this is where the feet would go if you were not using this in the rack, but no feet were included. The other, it's one of these Sony screw slots. Oh, I think there's corrosion on them. Like, oh man. Oh, I'm gonna have this. Ugh, God, it's gross. there's a bunch of grime in the here, to where I don't think I can fit a bit in. It's those special Sony screws, but I mean, if you get a flathead, those are good for the job. Jeez, please. I can't put a bit here if I. There's no grime. The actual slot. That's basically clear up. I'm not sure when I'm using my dental picks. I also use swap belts for this. Clean up the grime. Let's see what I can do with this. I think this is too thick. Yeah, it's too thick. Let's see. Generally, this guy here does me good. Or do I have to get more shit off? Might be what I have to do. Oh, well. Oh, I'm getting this screw off just fine. More has to come off here. I hate when this happens. I feel like this happened more often. I feel like this happens quite a bit. I guess it's more common of where the stuff I buy comes from than anything. Okay, this actually good to go. Okay, just a second. Oh, no, I'm good. Good. God, I can only imagine what that crud is that I'm not touching with my fingers. I see the belt there. The board looks kind of good. So the board, yeah, the board's on a hinge, but the hinge is here. The belt is there. It's a little interesting why they did it. Well, I mean, you've got the power supply here and all that. Might have something to do with it. Oh, come on. And it's on the, well, that screw's gone to the abyss now. Oh, well. Oh, you actually have good access to the belt. Okay. A little misshapen, don't you think? Oy, oy, oy. Let's go into my tray of goodies and see if I have a belt of that size. I should, especially the 2mm. Those my 2mm are ginormous. Like, look at that. Could be a little too small. I'm just going through all my options. This one might be. This one might be my best option. So let me. Yeah, I wish you could see what I'm doing, but there are videos on YouTube showing this process. I know that's kind of ironic because you think I should show it to you myself, being another video on YouTube, but this kind of how this worked out. Okay. Use my arm to stop that from coming back. I'm going to use my dental pick. Work this around the pulley. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Well, that screw's kind of lost in the ether now, but here's a similar one. this one fit? I couldn't tell you where. I couldn't tell you where I got this one from. I just have some screws on the bench here from past projects. Okay. Put this back on. Which way does it go? I'm sure it's like this. No, no, not like that. Yeah, that makes sense because you got your ventilation here and there where the boards are. Fire up. Again, making that extremely weird noise. Okay. See how it does rewinding and fast forwarding now with the new belt. Rewind. Oh yeah. I can feel the difference. Hot mama. Okay, head pro fast forwarding. It's still struggling. I also need the idler tire should also get cleaned because that will also affect rewind and fast forward. So what's they gonna do now? Okay, well the squealing's gone. That's good. It took a little bit for Playback to engage, but I mean for the Solenoid to engage, but I mean in the state of this VCRs in, it seems fine. Seems fine. Which is good because I got this and all the other VCRs from the same haul for like a song. Like, can't stress how happy I am with that haul. Yeah, picture. Yeah, so I should clean the idler tire, like put some rubber renew on it. Because that will definitely help with help with all modes, play, fast forward, rewind. So I don't know if I have to show that on screen. So how am I gonna get the basket out? The basket should only be held in by this, and it should just come straight out. I'm currently ducking out of the way so that you can see the screen. So I haven't done it yet, but what is the search on this like? So I hit the search button. It's giving me a odd freeze frame. Whoa! It's not the best freeze frame, but I just hit play. Oh, the squealing came back for a bit. I mean, like I said, I'm going to have to just turn this thing off for like a couple of hours. Then come back to it and see like if the squealing comes back with like the same like intensity as when I first looked at it, or if it's going to, or if it's like subside for the most part. Because if it only appears during like those special modes, that's something I could live with, but I don't like that it's still there to an extent. Oh yeah, and because the audio on U-Matic is linear, in the search, you get the Martian voices. Yay! So, I think that's going to do it for this video. I'll make sure to clean the idler tire, like off. I'll make sure to clean the idler tire at some point, but I think this thing is more or less kind of good to go. So, a front-loading U-Matic for the collection. I'm really happy about this. One of these is going to have to replace my VP2000 up in the theater, because I would prefer the functionality of these over the top loading. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching.